You have a beer guy, you produce something, you just can't sell it. You have to sell it to a distributor, then sell it to a retailer. And each phase, it's taxed and regulated. I think the biggest thing about the beer business that a consumer would have no way to understand is all the taxes that are paid and all the complications in licensing to get beer brewed and to get it to actually to the shelf with the 3-tier system. To me, the biggest thing that consumers don't understand or beer drinkers have a hard time understanding is how complicated it is to actually get beer to the shelf from production to the glass. And it's such a great thing to have a beer, but it's more complicated to actually produce it. It's a great, great thing. I love beer, but the reality is from the field to the glass, there's a lot of steps. When I first got in beer 33 years ago, everybody thought beer was easy, simple. You're producing a beer, and it just is really so much more complicated than that. One, there are basically 4 ingredients: water, yeast, malt, which is barley created by a malt, and then the hops that you use. But each of those ingredients coming together create a very complex product that is amazing once it's finally done correctly. But there are so many things that can go wrong, whether it's how you brew it, the cleanliness of the brewery, the steps that it goes through to get to the shelf, all those things. And then when you package a product, it makes it really, really tricky to actually have the beer taste as good as this Shipyard Export Ale does right now. One of the biggest myths that I feel about beer that I could erase is the fact that there's a lot of money in beer. There just simply is not that amount of money making beer. I mean, you better love it, because if you love it, then you can enjoy it and have fun. But maybe the big breweries make a lot of money doing it, and maybe some of the mid-range or some of the breweries that have sold out. But brewing beer, it's a passion. It's something you better believe in. It's not necessarily the most profitable thing you could do with your time. But if you enjoy it, it's a lot of fun. Once I realized that the myth of making money in beer was not reality, I decided, okay, is this a fun business? Can I pay for the real estate that I'm involved with the beer? Will the restaurant and brew pub work? Then it became fun. But the myth of you're going to get rich making beer is just, in the old days of beer barons, it's not the same in 2025 or even in the 2000s. I mean, people definitely make money in the beer business, but it's not necessarily made in the production of beer. One of the biggest things I would shout and say about the beer business is, if you love people and you love being around people, beer is very communal. It's a drink of temperance, and it's a drink that you can have with family and friends and truthfully socialize and create a healthy experience having a beer with friends. And that's why having a beer with Fred is so much fun. I jokingly say that, but it's true. Like, the government wants to say that alcohol causes all these problems, diseases, and other things. It definitely can if you drink too much of it, if you overindulge. But the reality is, if you have 1 or 2 beers with friends, you can engage in conversation, you can create community. And the biggest myth I'd like to get rid of is the fact that it's all about the money. It's more about the fun. Cheers.